So a few pages later in the Zohar, it talks about how there are the number of words that there are in Kiddush. And it says there are two sanctifications we should recite. This is actually a child who gives this particular teaching in the Zohar's narrative. One is Vayechulu, and they that heaven and earth were completed. The other is Kiddush, sanctification. Vayechulu contains 35 words, and the Kiddush that we recite, the Zohar says, there are 35 words altogether. That's starting with the word Vayechulu, amounting to 70 names of the Blessed Holy One with which Assembly of Israel is adorned. So here you have the text of Vayechulu, and we're not going to all count this together. Everybody can pull a Siddur off of their shelf and check it out. But what we have there are 35 words. Now what we have is in Kiddush, we have a 35-word version of Kiddush. Now, let's take a close look.
Did they have a 35-word version?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I would invite you all to do is if you take out your Siddurim or your benchers or what have you, you'll notice, of course, that we're leaving out the Bori Priya Gafen. Well, okay, Bori Priya Gafen you can say any day of the week. But what we are also leaving out is we're leaving out the words Kihu Yom Tchila. So at the end of the second line, leaving out those three words. And we are also leaving out Kivanu Vacharta Ve'otanu Kidashta Mikol Hamim, okay, which talks about Israel's chosen us. That's not the case. It's just that the Arizal and the Zohar were saying, like, chosenness is not what Shabbat is about. Shabbat happened on the seventh day of the week before there was any, any talk about Jewish people. So what you find in many Siddurim of Nusach Sfard, that is, Hasidic Siddurim, or amongst Sfaradim, is they will leave out those words. This way you get 35 words in Vayechulu, 35 words in the Kiddush itself. So what? So now we got 70. What's important about 70? Well, 70 is everything.
Well, it's Yayin
right?
And Sod.
Exactly. So Yayin equals 70.
Yeah.
But also we know that there were, according to the Talmud, there were 70 languages and there were 70 nations and 70 people, 70 figures in the Sanhedrin. In other words, that 70 is a number that suggests totality. So that if we are making Kiddush and we're holding our cup, which is a symbol for Shekhinah, and we are saying a number of words that corresponds to the totality of everything that are called crowns that are being put onto Shekhinah, what are we trying to do? Is that it's not merely that we're saying these words, and we're not merely fulfilling a halachic requirement. Really what we're trying to do is we're trying to restore God's glory to the greatest that it can be and give the Shekhinah her due.
Wow. And also 35 is half of 70 because you're only using one hand versus two hands. But yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I thought that's where you're going with that 35 we're holding in one hand. And if we were to hold in both hands, we would actually get 70. And that's really the big target number. I thought that's what you're going for.
Yeah, no. Is we got 35, we got 35, we got 70 altogether. We moved from it receiving it in two hands, which was the 10 corresponding 10 commandments. So there's all kinds of links that are going on here in terms of our possible covenant that we can be having.